Everyone wants to be successful and happy in life. A few people do manage to become successful, but it doesn't really bring them happiness. Achieving both success and happiness is about using a specific mindset based on a deep insight of the human mind, which you will learn in the next few minutes. Most people attribute success and happiness to two things: luck and a good outer environment, that is, surrounding oneself with positive and like minded people. But the truth is, although luck may play a role, those who become successful and happy influence their destiny by focusing on the things they can control and doing them in a very specific way. And although surrounding oneself with positive people may help, it isn't the real secret, because the truth is that people who are successful and happy manage to do so despite all kinds of people around them, and they make it in a tough or even negative environment. So, if luck and a positive outer environment isn't the key factor, what is the secret to success and happiness? Although this video is not a summary of the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, there is a key factor that Dr. Stephen Covey also highlighted. He said that the mantra of highly effective people is, "I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions." So, the key factor is the decisions we make. But what kind of decisions should we be making to be successful as well as happy? What actually makes all the difference and what successful and happy people do consistently right is, rather than focusing on the outer environment, they manage their internal environment well. This then enables them to consciously activate and use blue pen thinking to make key decisions in their life. And those who spend their whole life chasing success and happiness but fail to do so unknowingly allow the red pen inside them to make their life choices. We all have this red and blue pen inside us, and consciously activating the blue pen has tremendous benefits. You may have heard people say, to change your life story, you need to change your internal story. Well, it is this red or blue pen that writes your internal story. The red pen mostly writes an internal story that focuses on making quick and large gains in the short term. And being short-sighted, it unknowingly sabotages your success and happiness in the long run. Whereas the blue pen writes an internal story that is content with making smaller gains in the short term and steadily grows them over the long term. Your bank account will keep growing if you make wise, intuitive blue pen choices. You may make some short-term gains, but your bank account will decline in the long run if you make reactive red pen choices. Your weight may not decrease suddenly, but it will slowly become healthier and stay so if you make wise blue pen nutritional choices. It may decrease suddenly with a crash diet, but you are very likely to gain it again if you make reactive red pen choices. Your relationships will be better if you use the blue pen to wisely choose your words and actions in dealing with the people around you. And you'll become a people pleaser and surround yourself with attractive but negative, if not abusive people if you make subconscious red pen choices for short-term satisfaction. In short, your chances of success and happiness will decline if you make red pen choices, and they will grow if you make wise blue pen choices. Good things are all a result of using the blue pen in your mind to make decisions. But why do people make red pen choices most of the time? The problem is, in the fast paced modern world, the red pen generally becomes the default without us knowing, because the red pen is an instrument of the subconscious mind. But with a little bit of insight, it becomes possible to consciously activate the blue pen, which is the instrument of our wisdom, intuition, and inborn creativity. And it opens the gateway to an authentic, successful, wealthier, healthier, and happier life. The subconscious mind is essentially driven by our survival instinct, which is responsible for our stress responses, or the fight and flight responses. And it is super fast, mainly to keep us safe from a tiger or other dangers. It can react to outer world situations in milliseconds. In comparison, the blue pen, our wise mind, is much slower. This is essentially why the red pen acts much before the blue pen gets a chance to say anything. Red pen thinking is much stronger and faster because it is fueled by stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which are triggered by the survival mind. But when things are calm, that is, when stress hormones are low, the blue pen thinking begins to revive and give us sensible advice. A point to note is that the blue pen is not totally muted by stress hormones, but its voice becomes weaker and the red pen's voice becomes stronger in the presence of stress hormones. This is why we can sometimes hear two conflicting voices or have two conflicting ideas in our mind. But the voice or idea that is louder ends up influencing, if not hijacking, our decisions. And when the calm inside increases, that is, as stress hormones start decreasing, the red pen thinking subsides and the wise blue pen thinking becomes more prominent. At least 51% calm inside our mind is required for the blue pen to have a chance to start telling our internal story, and therefore making wise, intuitive decisions to shape our life story. So, our next level insight is that it is a calm internal state that really makes the difference. And our level 2 hack or mantra is changing your life story isn't really about changing your internal story, but about changing your internal state. Because it is your internal state that ultimately drives your internal and therefore external story. A lot of people think that internal state doesn't matter. I'll just use a psychological hack and fake it till I make it. They try to fake their internal story into a positive one and achieve success. While this may work, the problem is that it not only makes them feel like a fake person, eventually their own achievements in life start feeling fake, which then makes them feel hollow and unhappy despite all the hard work and success. So, the best approach, which brings authentic success as well as happiness, is the one that starts from within, with a good internal state. Once the state is calm, the stories we tell ourselves automatically become more positive and realistic. Negative emotions like self-doubt and self-sabotage automatically start turning into self-confidence, self-enablement, and success all around. But despite knowing this, most people are unable to activate blue pen thinking because they don't know the big secret behind creating a calm internal state. No, the answer is not just yoga or meditation, although they do help. The secret is wider and bigger than a morning session of yoga or a few minutes of meditation. Now, a calm internal state in which the blue pen gets activated is essentially a state when stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are in a low quantity inside the body. And what all of us know is stress hormones are a result of emotional stress. And a lot of us try out different psychological hacks or tricks to calm our emotions. And that's a rookie mistake. Because what most people don't realize is that stress hormones are released not just because of emotional or psychological stress, but also because of biological or metabolic stress. In fact, 2/3 or 66.6% of our stress hormones are released because of biological or metabolic reasons. That is, by lack of rest, sleep, good nutrition, and exercise. Yes, the same stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol are either released or thrown into disarray when we lack physical rest, sleep, nutrition, and exercise, or when our mind is overloaded with information from social media, work, etc., and demands more and more energy. So, 2/3 of the reason, that is, majority of the reason behind red pen thinking and therefore lack of success and happiness is stress hormones released because of metabolic stress. This concept of emotions and metabolic stress is detailed in the book Emotions, Happiness, and the Story of Our Lives by A.R.Kaalmly. The problem is, we fail to recognize that since at least 51% calm is required to activate the blue pen of wisdom, we could easily be activating it with good biological care, because 66.6% calm comes from our biology, which is well within our control. So our level 3 hack is changing your life story is not really about changing your internal story or your internal state. It's all about regular biological care. Or in other words, your outer story is a product of your internal story. Your internal story is a product of your internal state, which in turn is a product of regular biological care or a good biological routine. Caution: red pen thinking in your mind will try to ignore this secret, if not laugh at it, because it seems too simple. Because the red pen has been conditioned to think that achieving success and happiness have to be hard, that you have to endure pain and suffering to achieve success and happiness. The red pen looks at other successful and happy people having good food, sleeping as much as they want, going to fancy gyms, and relaxing most of the time. It thinks that these luxuries are an output of success, something one can afford to do after they are successful. But sadly, what the red pen doesn't realize is that these so-called luxuries are not outputs, but instead they are inputs into success and happiness. And people who are successful and happy are very particular about these things, because these help them keep in a calm, productive, and high vibrational state, or the blue pen state. And by looking after their biological metabolism, they stay in the everlasting success and happiness loop. Saying that, The real masterstroke to success and happiness lies in knowing our vulnerability as humans. We need to be aware that realistically speaking, we won't be in 100% calm state all the time. In this fast paced world, there will be some stresses in daily life which will impact us in one way or another. So, even with good biological care, the red pen can come on at times. Therefore, you have to ensure that you do not make important life decisions when the red pen is on. Take your time, calm yourself, which will be much easier if you invest in good biological care, and then make calm decisions with the blue pen. In a nutshell, if you want your life to flourish with success and happiness, then be aware of your state and don't make rushed red pen decisions. Finally, the key takeaway for long-term success and happiness is: don't start with success and try to build your life around it. Start with well-being and build success around it. Because that is how the blue pen comes alive, and our wisdom and intuition start boosting our creativity. That is when we make balanced long-term decisions which set us up for long-term success. That is how we feel good and enjoy our journey towards our goals.